Welcome back. In this video, we're going to look at doing Lab 1. Lab 1 is here. It's expected that you've completed the first lab um, and at least the first task of this lab before starting Lab 1 because it requires you to first set up all your tools before we can do Lab 1. Make sure that you have watched these two videos before starting Lab 1 because these are necessary for understanding the content, writing a suitable comment, which you'll be marked on, um, and also these are concepts that you will need in the real-time test, which is assignment 2, and also you'll need for the exam. So make sure that you do this before starting the lab. Now, the lab document can be found here, so we've got that up here, and all the suitable videos are at the top. So these include videos from last week, so if you've already watched them, you can skip over them, but they are important. Now, from here, we just follow the task, okay? We need to make sure that we are compiling often, and there is a reminder here, okay? This is the last reminder that we'll give you of this, but we'll expect this from you as you're going through the labs. So follow this through, and then you'll notice this output example. Now, this is using a marking tool that you'll get to try out and use to see what marks you'll get. Now you'll see that this line is yellow and red. That's expected, okay? We'll let you describe what's happening there, but you don't lose any marks for having this line being incorrect because it's meant to be, okay? So you can see that there's 4 marks there. The marking is done, so 16 marks on the script and 24 marks on the other stuff in the code. The typecast explanation is where a lot of the marks are going to be, so make sure you're using proper professional terminology that's given in the lectures and the videos because that's how we'll be judging you. From there, you'll do a slightly more difficult task. So this task gives a description. It's a practical task, so it's real world, and so you'll get to learn what the problem is, and then you need to follow this along and solve it. Now, you may find some problems with, for example, doing conversions between millipascals and pascals. There's a reference for SI units here, which you can use to solve that problem. This is part of your problem-solving skills, so you will need to do this. The other thing that you need to do is think about simplifying the formulas if you want to get an accurate output and also get the full marks for the script. So a couple of clues to that is really follow the steps. If you add extra steps in, you may be making your output less accurate. Okay, so if you're introducing more variables, that's probably not recommended. The other thing is have a look at your formulas and see if anything cancels, because that can make your answers more accurate. From there, you'll be marked, okay? The types will be marked, so make sure that you are using the types that are specified here. Otherwise, you will lose marks, okay? So the types have to be as given. You also need to write a comment at the top. There's a brief documentation guide here, which will tell you how to write a description of your code. All right. The other thing is that at the top, it tells you about this marking script notes. So if we go here, you can open this Word document, and this here, open it up. This here will explain how to download the marking script. So here's the link. So this will allow you to download it onto Unix, and we'll do an example of that. The other thing that it says is the labs need to be in the format given here. So your student number, underscore, the lab number, then the task, so just the word task, and then the task number .c. Okay, tells you how to run it. It also talks about some prompts, which we don't need to worry about till next week because we're not getting user input yet. Alright, so let's move that out of the way. And now let's look at all the tools that we'll need, especially from working from home. So the first one is we need our VPN connected. We need our FTP connected on Notepad++, and we'll need PuTTY connected to the server as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over to Lab 1. I'm going to create a new file. So here we're going to write our student number, underscore, 1, task, 1.c. And this will create our file. Remember, we need to double click on it, and now we're using that file. If we go over here, we should see that file. Okay, so I've just typed ls to see everything, and I can see that file here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the very first part of the lab. Okay, so I'm going to do this very first part of the lab. I'm going to skip over step 2. You'll need to do this. Okay. So we're going to start from step 3. Hash include standard io.h main, add my return to it. At this stage here, I'm going to save it and compile it. Okay, you should always compile at this stage. cc minus warnings all output. I'm just going to call it task 1, and my file name. And then I've got task1, and we can see it compiles and it also runs. I'm then going to go back and look at the next part. So I'm going to print this here. So let's move this across a bit so we can see this. So print f this program will demonstrate of types /n, a semicolon. So with this here, I can now press Ctrl S to save. You'll see it uploading, and I can go back and compile this once again. And if I run it, I should see the output. Now, further from this, we want to see if this output is correct against some example. And this is where the marking script comes in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to copy that marking script by going copy tilde csi lib / csc1es /students /lab _2020 _marking.sh and then dot. If we type ls, we should see this script here. Okay, if you can't see it or if it says no match, check your spelling. It's definitely there. From there, what we're going to do is we're going to write bash lab 2020 _marking.sh. We run that and we get this pop up. So it says it's the testing and marking script for first year PES or masters. it tells you the version number and when it was last updated. So definitely make sure you're re-downloading it just in case I make any changes to it. So we enter the lab number. So the lab number is number 1, and then we enter the student number. Now my example student number is just lots of 9s. We press enter, and it will compile the code and double check that it compiles. It will also grab some data that we'll use at the end of the semester to make sure that this is your work. And it will tell you if there's incorrect output or not. Okay. So it says here, this program will demonstrate the use of types, and that is green, so that is correct. Okay, if it was red, then you need to fix it. Okay, the only exception is the one we saw before. So this line can have any value, so it will always show red, and that's okay. We can see our marks, and then we say press enter to continue. So press enter. Task 2, we haven't started it, so it's not submitted to the script. And then once we're finished, we can press enter to exit. So you can keep doing that as many times as you like until you get the 16 out of 16. Make sure that you aren't hard coding. Make sure that you are actually following the task because that'll be checked in the other 24 marks. Alright, so you can continue on with this task. Just follow the lab steps. And if you get stuck, definitely ask, and we'll have some way for you to do that. Alright, thank you very much. Good luck with the lab 1.